What up, everybody? Welcome to your daily fix. It is February the 8th, which is insane, the 9th for some of you. This is NFA OFC, not financial advice, of frickin' course. Today, money flow cycle, as usual, total market cap, dominance, Bitcoin and ETH, which we know and we consulted, which is amazing. Hi, everybody. And then we're going to talk. Oh, geez, Louise, sorry. And then we're going to talk about these coins. I want to sticks or stacks. I want to say sticks, stacks, Phantom, Kusama, Atom, Near. And so hopefully we're going to get through all of that. Thanks for coming a little later. I know, and America goes to bed after this. So hopefully we didn't keep you up a little bit longer. So let's get Pope up here.
I'm here.
Hey.
Sorry for the delay. If you don't know, I went to the Boring Security course. It was amazing in so many different levels. Old dog, new tricks. Loved it. Also made me really happy that we start our whole module system with security. And our 3 wallet security was pretty much amplified in their course, which they didn't call that, but it was all the same premise. So that made me happy. For those that don't know, Boring Security, one of the advisors, John HQ, is who built our Discord. We also get their security updates right away in our security announcements, which is Boring Security. So you can have that automatically ping you when there's a post. And if you go through their classes, join their Discord, they're all free classes. They are great education from absolute noob to expert. Couldn't recommend it enough. And if you do all the classes, you get a free ledger. That's pretty cool. You can reach out to us about that. So that was the delay. I literally just got out. I have not written the test yet. I get to do that a little later because of this. Let's dig into it.
I'm already in this school. Why do I have to go to another one?
Because security.
Oh, got it. Right.
So let's have a look. Some pretty exciting days. Like we just rocketed here in the last little bit while I was in class. So we're on the 4-hour. If we look at the daily, it's pretty much following what we said we wanted to do. And we're having that channel up, which means we'll probably pull back down to this area somewhere in here. You know, we're starting to see more of these resistance lines come up now. We know we're going to come into this area. Ooh, let's get that on the right color.
Did you know if you kick that thing on again, it'll just change it? Like if you click your...
Yeah, my computer's really lagging.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying. There it is down there now. And we're on the daily. All right. So we know we're going to have, and if we look back in time, do we have anything in here? We definitely have some wicks where the current market cap is at. We won't zoom out too much. We know we're going to come back down from when we were talking about it before, because look at all these touches we've had. We've now broken out because we go off this candle here. Likes to hop around. Ooh. So we wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of pullback, probably something that's similar into this amount of money here. We were wanting to get into the mid 6s and then up to this. We did it pretty quick. We did it about a day faster than when we were looking here with our lines, but we're still pretty much on par. I mean, we're not far off. Like I said, I'll try and get better. But when we look at this, money's flowing in. And this is what we've been waiting for. And even in the beginning, in the week, I said, this is the week where I think we're going to see a lot of money come in. Here we go. If you got into our trades we've been talking about, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's have a look. The dominance, that's interesting. Dominance is coming down. When we see that, it starts to drop. That's a good sign, especially when we have money flowing in. Alts are probably running. I'll be honest, I don't know. I was in the security class, right? And it happens this fast. We know this. This is on the 4 hour. Now, we want this to pull back. Dominance is the one we always want to go down. But when there's money coming in as much as it is and then going back and forth, it's kind of hard for dominance not to keep doing this. Oh, Bitcoin.
Desi said maybe you should make white label the security modules.
There's a few things that have just progressed with time and technology that they pointed out today that will definitely be updated in our modules too. There was a few things that were eye-opening, and it's from somebody that knows a lot about this, and I even know this much. It was well worth the time.
Yeah, it's good. Good thing you went then. That's awesome. Can't wait to see it.
I mean, where'd we say we were going to hit? Right now, we're expecting a little bit of a pullback and hold this line. I mean, going, as we've been saying, doing exactly what we want it to do. We've broken out of this weekly consolidation box. We know it's weekly, gold and the purple. We've been lined it up ages. Now we still need to get above this 46.7. We need to retest this. This is a weekly. It makes sense that we're going to have a pullback on Bitcoin. Why? Because we've had a massive up. Again, not saying that this up can't continue. If there's anything that Bitcoin can do, it can rocket and fall fast. Retracements are healthy. 8% in 4 days is a lot for Bitcoin. But when we're looking at the alts, it doesn't seem like that much. Remember, we talk about Bitcoin and ETH usually have that lower 1.5 to 2.5, 3% swings. And when they take off, the whole kind of market follows with it. So right now, I'm expecting, just like we drew out before, we're going to take a little bit of a dip here, unless we see a lot more money come into the market cap. And we've had our most recent high in a long time in the market cap since back in early January. Are these lines we're going to probably contest? Yeah, we were just talking about it in here. Ethereum, I mean, man, what a great call.
That would have been a very nice entry. That would have been very nice.
Get in here where we said it's going to bounce along the way. It's going to break out, has to retest, has to stay out of here. What did it do? Little inverted hammer. I love inverted hammers. We're on our way. So what are we going to do? This is the 4 hour, the green. And we're on the daily right now, and we got 20 hours. We may break this where come down, and we want to see if we can hold it right here. If we can't, we're going to come right down to this hold. If we can, now we're going to fight this next area. We can already start to see our channel. We've broken this trend, and we're continuing this one on the 4 hour, it looks like. Now, I don't want to get too many lines in here, but we could redo all this. I want to keep it because we've been right so far, and we'll continue to see how this plays out. But
since we've blown way past the squiggles, I think you can just leave them there.
Right. And now we were just off in time. Oops, that wasn't one squiggle. That's right. It's easier to break them. So same thing with ETH. It's doing what we want it to do. And if we take actually the squiggles away to make it look a little nicer, it makes sense when we zoom out and zoom in. We're starting, big time critical greed. Of course it is. When was this? end of last month, all the way up to here, that's big money. What did we say a little while ago? It has problems psychologically with these round numbers, and we're fighting it. We're still on our way. We're absolutely still on our way. Would make sense if we have critical greed that we're going to have a pullback. What did we say on the daily with these squiggles? We're going to have this pullback. If we can retest this zone and go, we're keep going. Most likely we're going to pull back. Either way, just like we said, we know it's that slower, lesser percentage usually. Speaking of lesser percentage and good entries on tokens, and if Desi's in the room, he called me a stacks maxi. I may quote. And I've been passionate about this token because it's a layer 2 solution on Bitcoin. If you see what all the people are doing in the Twitter feeds, they're talking about, Bitcoin ordinals and NFT projects that are based on Bitcoin. All that stuff runs on stacks. So you don't have to play that game of, are you getting the right JPEG and, what does it all mean? Just use the blockchain that's making all that happen. And we can still see on our daily, we have spread. And I said, if you miss this and you want to get in, wait for retracement. We've had retracement. We're starting still clearly to do this. Now, you're not going to make as much money as if you called our entry to where we are. Not bad for a week's worth of work. I mean, if you got high, nobody does. But I mean, let's be honest. Right? There's no reason to inflate our tires. Let's move on. Great call. If you're in it, stay in it. We got legs to run. This is where smart comes in. If you're happy with 22%, take out half, take out a quarter, ladder out. But I'm going to trust my indicators. Our micro bull indicator is finally my apologies, has finally hit. And look what it did last time it hit. I don't know, a cool 209.67%. Will it do it again? I don't know.
That's ridiculous. But the thing is, I mean, if I look at this, then I can buy, sell all the way up that.
Absolutely healthy retracements, right?
Yeah.
When the critical greed fires, sell. And if we're still getting spread and you wait for a retracement, if you get in here and you sold up here and you're off to the races again, I would have probably sold somewhere in here because of this retracement. This is nasty. And we have that curl. But is that such a bad thing?
Can you, would you mind going over to the week just so I can see what that?
There's not that much history on this on the weekly.
Oh, no, I was just looking at just that area, just that one area of it increasing. I just wanted to kind of see.
Right. We broke out of the weekly trend. Right. We held this line. And this is obviously on a lower time frame on that one. But yeah, and now we're in critical again on the weekly. And we got 2 days left. But look at this spread. Yeah, we're critically over critical greed because we've taken off. That's on a percentage. Right? And we've made most of that with our call. Of course, there's going to be pullback. But look at the spread still. We haven't even curled yet, right? We haven't done this. That's why I say we got legs to run. And when these lines are wider, what happens? Price action, right? Works in either direction. Boom. Price action. Works in either direction. Boom. It's time to go again. So I hope y'all got in that, even though without it being recorded in the Discord, it's been live for I don't know how much. And
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while. Primo said, I'm starting to love Stacks. Been waiting on a retracement since yesterday that my eyes turned white, but it didn't come. But this is where patience will
Well,
come
let's
in.
have a look. Let's have a look, right? We did get a little retracement on the 4-hour, right? That's a healthy retracement here. I mean, where are we on the 2s? This is just if we start to look at the pattern it's in right now, it's doing. We have pulled back a lot on the 2s with critical greed. I would like to see what I would think would happen right now is a little consolidation in here. I'm on the 2. I'll delete this. Why not actually? Hold on. That's why it's down here. That's what's throwing me off. What am I on? 2? I don't have a color for 2 yet. So I'm going to go blue. I don't think I have a blue yet. So I would expect right now with this much of an increase to probably bounce around in here. I would want to retest this area here, this resistance, before I get in. If you missed that beautiful callback here. And that's on the 2-hour. What does that look like on the 4? Same. Do we have an 8 on this? Nah. So this is what I'm waiting for now, Primo, is that retest. And then if we get that retest on a smaller level, we start to see maybe we're starting to curl here on the smaller time frame. I'd watch. Or I'd put a limit buy-in for that 1.80. Now understand, if you do that, this could turn for the short term because we're on a shorter time frame. On the daily, we're still taking off. So if you're on that shorter time frame, don't panic if it drops a bit. We know we're not always going to get the best entry and the best exit. But if you're waiting for retracements and playing a little bit of a longer game, you're off to the races. Should have got in here. Somebody in the Discord, can't remember who, sorry, it's been a crazy day, asked for Atom Cosmos. We'll do that last. Let's revisit another one of our tokens we've been talking about, a call we made that came into a nice position. And we marked this up just with some support and resistance. Consolidation rectangle on the weekly, broke this downtrend, was looking for a retest, got it, got our entry, and we've been off. We've been off to the races. Now this is probably on the 4-hour. No, it's probably on the daily, actually. And there it is. So we drew these squiggles before they happened. We were looking for this retest and go. Now we've had 3 up. We've already had a little retracement. Might make sense to have a little bit of pullback before we go. But what because our drawings are right over top of that, we're almost at that cross. All right, where was our entry again? Can we actually measure it just from there? We'll go from the middle, just if you went from there to current price. In the last 2 days, you've made 4.18%. And we're about to get the cross. Yeah, we'll continue to watch Phantom. If you got it, remember, things shit the bed with news or black swans, everything's going down. But all indications right now is we're on the way back up.
I'm looking forward to seeing. Oh, sorry. I was looking forward to seeing the candle. Oh, I was looking forward to seeing the candle for Phantom tomorrow. Then when we meet up in about 24 hours.
Just grabbing roughly to wherever our entry was, somewhere in there. We're looking anywhere between 45 and 51%.
This is one that you said you would have held for a while. Like you've gone through phases where
all of these that we've been covering are the slow trades. I didn't put it in a graphic, in our Discord, but if you've been watching the show without me saying buy in this exact area, because it's not financial advice, but of course, I don't know how to paint it much. And fast trading will always just be streams, but slow trading, we're always going to cover our slow trades. On this show, we'll get rid of the money flow cycle right off the bat, and then we'll follow all the trades that we've gotten in and when to get out. I mean, remember Casper when we first started? That was an 18% trade. And all we did was short it every day. Every time we opened it up, short the fuck out of it. That's all I ever said. And then get out. And it was about 18, So Phantom doing well. If you haven't got in, zoom back. This is the 4-hour. We clearly have some momentum. We've had some nice pullback already in the terms of that candle, almost a full percent. And if you've been following or new, 1% can change your life. And we're still off to the races on the 4, and that's a healthy pullback. I would want to zoom in again to know, are we going to pull back to this daily resistance, support? Resistance. This needs to turn into support on this candle, or it's going to come back down to this area. And we could wait 22 minutes. If this pops over, it's working its way on to the next on the 4-hourly. Let's jump into the ones quickly. We can see on the ones, we have had a nice healthy retracement. Right now, we would want to watch our micro bear switch here, because we don't want that to become engulfing. Just means it could go down a bunch more. But either way, when we said enter and where we're at, we're doing well. This is where patience pays. This is a slow trade, and we'll be checking this as the day goes on. Phantom done. Kusama. Kusama's a little slower than the others, but profit's profit. We said get in at $37, and we're at 10%. Now, it wasn't a day. Let's actually find out. Current day price value. In 3 days, we've done 10.39% on Kusama. And we've had that retest, and we're off. We're having healthy pullbacks. I'm going to get rid of this to make it a little easier. These nice wicks are healthy. This little consolidation pattern, these ups, this is where I really like. And most likely, we should hold above this daily consolidation zone. And if we do, and let's just go from that, makes sense. Our next area is right about there, another 4%. Why? Here. And then from there, we got that jump to here, which is this bottom support. The wicks come out. That's another 5-ish% roughly. Then our next, there's another 5-ish. Right? This is off to the races. We just got the cross. If you haven't been into this trade yet, wait for a healthy retracement. Zoom in. This is on the daily. We still got some spread here. What a hell of an. It would make sense to have a little more pullback in the next few hours. It does make sense. All these look at these nice little ups, retracements. This is the epitome of healthy. All we're going to do is continue to walk up, ladder on up, make some money. All right, start a little late. We've covered our last trades, And the first one that was requested was Cosmos, Atom. This is an older, this is an older token. It's got a great history. I want to say it's banking. I would have to double check. It's been that long. Coin market cap will tell you. Not drawings. We want to hide our indicators. So if you are new or just for a refresh, I always like to look fully zoomed out on the week and look at the patterns of where we are and what's going on. Right now, we can see we have this area of consolidation. We are trying to go from here to retest this high. How much is that high from here? To the wicks, 30%. Don't look at the days. All right? That's a healthy return. What's the risk? About the same. Now, we want to know, is the market direction going? Where's the flow? We've been in this downward path for quite some time. Money is starting to flow into the market. If you were in here, 15%, there's probably a little more from here to here. Retracement is healthy. It needs to hold this consolidation zone. And to me, it looks like it's a little bit above the bottom. So I'm not going to go back into the 20s just for sake of time, because I would like to get near done too. If you're ever finding it difficult to see, just zoom in. I'm trying to keep as much history on the screen as I can without making it too small. We're on weekly, so we're going to use our weekly. So why did I draw the rectangle there? Quick and dirty. We have support on those candles coming down. We have a little bit of resistance, but it flies through it. So, fought to get through here. A lot of support here. When something comes down this much over time and it halts here and reverses, that's a fuck ton of support. Right? Now, we could probably, if we wanted to go to candle bodies, we could split the differences here and here and here. And on the bottom, it would come up a little bit and we'd see the bottom and the wicks. Remember, it doesn't have to be exact. It's to give us the idea. We're bouncing in this area. It's holding different things. It's always nice to know what we're looking at in that term. It's 27%. Kind of does, without any indicators right now, look to me like it would make sense to go up with little steps, healthy retracements, nice little walk to 27%. Could be a nice walk to 43, could be a really nice walk to 62. We'll leave that there. Let's have a look. So now what we want to do is find our most localized high to fall, because here now it's been on this downward spiral since here. So we take our trend line, we make sure we're on the weekly, because we are on the weekly. We go from the top of that candle to the last candle that was in existence. What I mean by that is this green candle we're currently on. So we don't use the top of that. Ooh. So we've now cut this trend line to the last day's candle. So once we've done that right away, we can see we're at the retest point of this coin. I can't remember who found this. Good job. And sorry that I don't remember. So let's make sure we're on the weekly support and resistance. And technically, it could go down to here. We know our candle patterns tend to break out in these triangles, come out, retest, and then take off. If they don't do that retest, they typically go down or they compress even more. Right now, with the way market is going, I would say this is a good case of where we'll see a retest. And that's just on the weekly, 2 lines, 1 rectangle. Let's zoom in. And this is why you don't adjust your TA from a different time frame to suit the new time frame. Right? Because this is all the kind of action that happens during those days versus a week. So if you want to use technical analysis again on here, we mark it up for the daily. And we can see on the daily our support where we've been fighting in the area trying to get out of is this rectangle. Rectangle within a rectangle. Support, resistance, right? So now on the daily, our daily trend line from our most localized high to low, and on our last daily candle is this one. And we use the bottom of this triangle to be here. So our daily retest is right after this candle.
Can you, when you say bottom of this triangle, can you tell me what you're talking about?
Sure, thank you.
Just because your mouse was kind of flicking back and forth too, so.
Yeah. So right now we're looking at 2 different triangles on 2 different time frames. On the weekly, we have the big golden one. We're doing the same principle. We're taking it from our most localized high to where it switches to low. We're going off that red candle. And we're taking it to the candle before of the one we're on. And that's that big gold line. So we know to break this entire downward trend here is a big deal. Hasn't done that in a ton of time. Right? And this is on the weekly. So now when we go into the daily, the gray line is our daily. So when I say we're seeing 2 different triangles, this line here is the daily, and the daily support was this rectangle. So there is our daily rectangle. We've come down. Now we want to come out, retest, and take off. Come back, take off, come back, take off. And all these are top of this, support and resistance here. Top of that, support and resistance here. We know we're going to come back. We want to stay outside of the daily triangle. Then we want to get out of the weekly triangle. We have yet on the weekly to get out of this triangle. Might think you have because the days are doing that. But as soon as we go back to the weekly, we haven't broken out of this trend since we've fallen into it. That's where jumping time frames can get tricky. So always zoom out and zoom in. Always remember the main action. So right now, we could still be in a downward path to go down to here. If we don't break the weekly trend line on the candle close, damn right, we're going to come down here and we're going to do it fast. Because we know if we don't break trend, it goes the other direction and usually quick. So on the weekly, we're in good shape. I feel like my controls have changed. But we knew we draw this squiggle on the daily, which we can see how it is above the weekly, which almost suits all those wicks. And those are those little nuances between the time frames. So on the daily, we have a retest here. And on the weekly, we have a retest just down here. So let's clean this up so we can make it.
22 Targaryen has a question in regards to the retest, if you want me to read it to you. It's lengthy.
Please do. Yeah, please do.
So They say, so basically there should be a retest on the trend line. And when it shoots out of consolidation, you would want another retest on the consolidation. Is that correct? Or is it when you get the retest, when you retest the trend line, you won't get a retest per se on the consolidation?
Well, both is very strong. That's confluence. It just happens to be in this case, our retest is on this top of the daily consolidation, right? Or support or resistance. You can look at
So
it.
you could get a shot through and a retest without touching the top of that trend line there, just on the triangle.
And some people might go, hey, this is where I'm drawing the box because it's, this fits more. That's fine, because then now you're still fighting this trend line and you're working your way up to here, and now you're having to fight here. Either way, it's the same. And that's why I say don't sweat too much about where you place your consolidation zones, because it's still just support and resistance. And if you can see where these happen, you can start to see rectangles and parallel channels, which we've talked about before. So right now on the daily, we're looking for an entry probably somewhere in this space, right? We would love to settle above this, because then we know we're probably going to take off. On the weekly, if we had to draw one on the weekly, it's a circle right beside a circle. It would be right here. So this is a very strong area to want to break. Why we wait for the retests is to maximize your protection of your capital. Because if we don't get it, it comes down fast. And I would rather lose that little bit of opportunity gain to have that security to get the opportunity gain, if that makes sense. So there's the weekly, there's the daily. What we know from this is that we're in some really interesting position. Just on a TA level, we haven't even used our custom indicators yet. Did that just add confluence? Absolutely. We've gotten entries low on the bands, broke here. Micro bear is telling us it wants to end, ironically, on the weekly support. And we're coming up to a cross. And it looks like that cross will be somewhere outside of this line. And when you zoom in, you can start to see a little bit better. But we're going to be looking for that retracement. If you want to play safe and make sure you don't miss it, and you don't mind losing a couple little percent, I would be somewhere in here, that 960-ish up in here, because we know we're about to get that cross and take off. We don't know, but there's very good probability odds. What's it saying on the 4? 4 hours saying we're ready to go to the races. We got it a while ago. And you can see we've broken this downward trend on the 4s. So it would make sense, like we've said, that we're going to have a little bit of retracement, a little bit of pullback, wait for that pullback, get an entry, and let's go. That'd be my 2 cents on Cosmos.
And America noted that before you had put the indicators on that the micro bear bull was going to hit soon. So well spotted. Good job.
Ha! And I just came out of class. I love it. All right.
I wasn't saying well spotted to you. I was saying well spotted to her.
Damn it. Somebody's got to inflate my tires.
You should know this already.
I know. I was teasing. Now we got about 5 minutes left to the hour, and we were a little late. So let's pull up near because somebody else was asking about that.
Near, I don't think is on my BitGet, which is a little bit annoying. So
Near protocol, I'm going to do a different one. Let's use random number 2. That was our link. How did link do from our? I don't think we marked it up. A little bit. Oh, this is crypto total market cap. That's why. What do we say? Near. There you are. Ooh, pretty. Me like you. Let's take that off right away. Why are you not hiding my indicators? So right off the get-go, bullish wedge. So we've come up, right? So we've come up. We have a triangle here. And within that triangle, we have done what triangles are supposed to do. And we've already broken out and got a retest right here. So yeah, that's why I went, ooh, juicy right off the get-go.
would that be referred to as a pendant in some way or not quite?
Yeah, bullish pendant. Bullish wedge, sorry. A pendant is more of a rectangle formation than a triangle formation.
Got
it. Both good signs though. So if we zoom out on the weekly, now near is fairly young. So also to keep that in mind. I'm a big fan of near as well. To be honest, it wouldn't be on our list if I wasn't for the most part. So same thing with Atom. This is on its, and this is what I refer to as the hunt. There's lots of these out there. Don't chase the FOMO if you miss the pump. Go find the next ones. You know, we've already found a bunch on the show. So here we are going for the weekly retest. We have 2 days left in it. It's looking fairly solid from it. We've had lots of compression, right? Now, ironically, we're in this little area. So let's throw a rectangle in here. Make sure we're on weekly. What I'm trying to do is hit the resistance on those ones. Move it up a bit. Came right down to the wick there. Bounced around in here. Support right here. Resistance all in here. Resistance here. Now support. Fighting to keep support. Making its way for the retest. And if we just have a quick look, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, parallel channel. Makes sense. We're now going to bounce up into this range and then bounce up into this range just by support and resistance right here. Let's have some fun. Current price to the next level. 12. The top of that box, about 30. Two lines, one rectangle. That sounds wrong. Now we're on the daily. Let's throw a parallel channel. We haven't used these in a while. We've had our retest, just like I said. Now we're having a little bit of pullback. We're off to the races. Boom. That we call confluence. Good find. I've been watching near for a while. It's on my little list. I got majority of IRL stuff done today, which was very exciting. So I'm looking forward to starting to do exactly this. and screenshotting it and going over our weekly picks in the Discord. And for fast trading, looking for situations like this, but just on smaller time frames. Exact same theory, exact same principles, smaller time frame. And all we do is find the ones that have it. If they don't have it, we don't force it. Patience. Don't force trades. Have your strategy, a little bit in, it goes down, dollar cost entry, goes massively up. You can ladder out, take some profits. If it has legs to run, wait. What do we got here on a 4-hour?
I have a couple of questions. And America said it was Space Boys Find that was near.
Right.
And I said he was really happy to hear you use the word confluence in this scenario. Do you have another question? We kind of talk about this regularly, but not directly in this. But how does support and resistance from so long ago mean that will be our support and resistance now?
Strength.
We're going back a year.
It's strength. The more you have in the more you have in, oh, I don't want to mark that one up. I'm just trying to find where I can quickly mark up something. I'm going to save this as random 2. All right, we'll just use that one. Ooh, how's blockchain bets doing from when we called it clearly? Oh, still waiting for our entry. Nice, about to do it. Love going back to old stuff you find like that. Okay, Bitcoin. Where's my trash? So here's Bitcoin. When we go to the past, and we just quickly lined up there. This is your support. Look how it became resistance. Let's grab another one.
I mean, this is why we call them trend lines, right? Because these are just trends that continue happening in these particular areas.
Right. So we've broken out of this. We've wicked up to it for resistance. We tried to get out and settle on top of this. I mean, if we want, we can go right up to this here, resistance, support here. Like I said, just quick and dirty. We could go to there. So we can cut the difference. We can go right in the middle and see. Like I said, it's more for perspective, but you can't tell me if we're cutting the difference quickly and it's fighting at this point. That doesn't have some, like, it's, for me, this part is like the sheeple mentality. Right? And our next area is going to be right in here. And these are going to be the price lines of that we're always going to be fighting. And now when we look between them, we can see we move fairly fast. There's not a lot except for right in there on that down pull, which is the psychology of the market. And then we can see even in here, we have consolidation just in there, but we don't have any history down here. And that's why people are like, oh, it's going to go to, 16,000 because it's come down here. Or you hear, oh, it's going to go to, 25 because we have that support here. Well, sure, we're not saying it can't, but it ain't going to do a weekly candle and one candle down to there because there's no history of that. There is here. Not saying it can happen. But you go back and you look at what these events were that happened. Ooh, I've been working on that events calendar for Bitcoin. Right. So right now, just with Bitcoin, this is why I think we're going to have consolidation again. And this is why we've been nailing the call, because we're right in this box, right where we've said we're going to be around fighting. So the further you can go back with these, the more accurate it becomes. And that's why I was showing Kate our market direction, how to use that a little bit better, and how to really understand that tool the other day. And it works so much sharper and better on coins that have a longer history. So on the daily, we can really start to see how these areas become. Right. Tried to fight out for a few days, then I had to fight back, and then it's consolidating in it. And like we said, we can start to make consolidation areas within consolidation areas. It always is fighting to get out of certain places. Why? Because we want the natural, healthy pullbacks, right? And these areas typically in here are consolidation areas, and all of them are healthy. We want all of these to happen. Like we said, we want ups and downs gradually going up. Or if we're shorting, we want the same thing gradually going down, because it's healthy. If we didn't have them, it's like a shit token. It's going straight up and it's going to go straight down. So our tools and our analysis give us the skill sets to layer over and add confluence.
And knowing where those lines of consolidation are, if we know that it's happened in the past, it just gives us this idea that it may bounce around the same area if it comes down there. So it just allows a little more anticipation of what may happen. So like you said, that candle's not going to go all the way back down because it's unlikely, and it may hang out. It may, if Elon message says anything, but
Elon makes a tweet, right?
Right.
But here, all the way up to here. Right, we can look back. There's probably some news event. Everybody got excited, and that's probably the ETF shit. Made it right to this level of where we dropped before. Probably some news. FUD came out about it. It just stayed above. But if you look at that wick, why is it? It's the wrong button. If we look at where that wick went from the previous day's high, support and resistance here, right? Support and resistance here. It's not always going to be perfect because they're hunting. They're trying to figure out where are those stop losses, where are those take profits. And that's why I say I always like to put my risk tolerance is a little higher on a percentage, because I try to get under those for a stop loss. If it really goes through, then I'm playing those odds of higher loss. But I avoid more wick outs, and typically it tends to mount, because I rely a lot on my tools and my technical analysis. And they're right, statistically, higher odds than they're not. So the emotion of when I lose or I screw up, I don't let that fuck with me, and I continue to move forward with my tools. We've been lucky. Almost every call we've hit. We're going to have one soon that it doesn't, and we're not going to hide from it. But the more we can play, take your questions, take these answers and look at it and say, hey, yeah, this is probably the statistical odds. We're going to win way more of those than we lose. And where we're going to lose them more is on the shorter time frame. Absolutely. Does that help? Does that answer questions? I wanted to use Bitcoin because it's easier to see those.
Absolutely. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me. If it doesn't make sense, or you need even just more clarification, we can do more. I mean, we can do more tomorrow, or people can explain it on the Discord. Desi's explained a couple of things in the comments over here for people to help, which is nice. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, thanks, Desi.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, today was somewhat of a simple day in the fact of our scoreboard, as per usual.
Oh, I'm over the scoreboard.
Oh, there we are. My bad. Producing back here poorly. You know, we didn't make any decisions today because of IRL. So we gained another day, and that's sometimes what it's about. It is the patience. It's standing on the sidelines. It's not FOMOing. Trust me, I saw the greens. I've called some of the greens. I wanted to get in on some of those greens. But it's understanding there's another trade right around the corner, and that's what it is all about. That's all I have to say today.
Oh man, me too. What a week. What a week. So like
Well,
I think, if anybody wants to, if you're looking, because it seems like some action's happening. So if you want us to look over anything, throw it in the Discord, throw it out to us, however, and then we can look at it because you guys are finding some pretty interesting stuff to look at and to pick apart.
and not only that, you guys are making some good TA in the channels. I've been looking, I've been watching. It's been nice how you're watching. It's nice sharing the victories in the channel, in the general chat too. I love nothing more than seeing others win and grow. We can only all grow together. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's your daily fix. See you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.